Welcome, everybody, to the third period. And we're off to a rousing start. We're clearly in playoff form as Sean practically knocks over the entire table. I'm your host, Darren Basmajan, and with me, for the first time with me, but not a first time on this podcast, Jeff Howell. Howell or Howells? Howells, thank you. Jeff Howells. As you can see, we're getting to know each other. But Jeff, obviously, the guys who've watched this podcast know a lot about you. They've seen you probably around the league, but thanks for coming back. We appreciate it. And you have a great knowledge on the three leagues we're going to be talking about today, so we're looking forward to jumping into that. Sean, thanks for being back. Thank you for not knocking over the entire table.
I'm in a lot of pain.
You're in a lot of
The good news is neither of you have a playoff game.
So we're okay. We're good. Yeah. No,
We
not
should
going
be golfing, but no off season for us.
Well, yeah, it's Montreal golfing. Not really golfing weather here right now. No. All right. So we are breaking down the F League, the M League, and then we're going to finish off with the A, much smaller league, so there won't be as much to talk about. Yep. So let us start off with F. But before we do that, actually, again, I need to get better at this. At NBHL Media, at NBHL_official. Do we have a Twitter handle for you, Jeff?
Jeff at NBHL.ca.
All right, Jeff at NBHL.
Email,
that works for you. Jeff at NBHL.ca. So if anything super offensive or controversial is said, that's the email you want to send it to. That's where you want to direct your hate. All right, let's jump into the F here. So this is a very unique situation for us. It's the first time we're actually doing a podcast during playoffs. Yeah. We didn't do it last year, and now we're jumping into it. So what we're going to do, slightly different from what we usually do, is we're going to break down the individual matchups, and then, kind of go further down the line and try and predict what we can. This is the only time we're going to be talking about F, M, and A before the season is done, so hopefully we'll be able to see into that crystal ball and really predict the future. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at the F here. So first of all, it's 10-team league, but there's 8 teams that have made the playoffs.
Yep.
The number 1 seed was the Chalupa Bangers. They will be facing off against the 8th seed, the A's, in the first round. Number 2 seed is the Piranhas. They're facing the Mighty Pucks. That's the 7th seed. Number 3 seed, the Bengals versus 6 seed Terminators. And finally, we have number 4 seed Ruthless versus the number 5 seed Paper Clips.
Yep.
Let's start off at the top here, boys. Chalupa Bangers versus A's. Let's break down the matchup here. Jeff, I'll start with you. Thoughts on this matchup? Anything that leaps up off the page to you before we get started?
Because of our choke job yesterday, we avoided a matchup between Mighty Pucks and Chalupa Bangers, who really don't like each other. So the Mighty Pucks were praying that matchup didn't happen. And now we made it happen. Chalupa Bangers, they're a team where if you look at them, you don't see offensive besides Paymon much.
That's it. Yeah,
they grind it out. They hit you. They attack you. They play physical hockey. They're not a fun team to play against. Their goaltending's pretty solid, and Carl.
Yep.
But they're not a fun team to play against. That's for sure.
No. I mean, it's across the league. Every time, no one's looking forward to playing these guys. Like Jeff says, they're. I'm trying to think of a player equivalent. They're not Torres bad, but they're like, you know what I mean? They just play like sort of a...
Not something you want to be advertising.
Claude Lemieux, I think, would be a good analogy for a hockey league. They're in your face. They grind you.
All right. So they're pests.
They're
Right
pests.
on the penalty kill.
Yeah. Yes. Focus on special teams. Yeah. No. I mean, Sean Sarah, captain of that team, does a great job. I mean, the team chemistry is quite strong, right? They're all for one for all kind of thing on that team, but it's not fun to play against.
I'd be very surprised if they don't come out on top in this matchup.
I love A's. I like Ryan Hanfield. I like a bunch of the guys on that team, but I hope they do well, but I just don't see it. I don't think they have enough weapons to contain these guys.
So what needs to happen? Let's say perfect situation for the A's. What is it that needs to happen for them to come out on top in this matchup?
Ryan has to have a fantastic game in that.
They need an early couple of goal lead because Chalupa don't score many goals. So if you can get a lead on them, you got a good chance to win. But if you get behind on them, it's gonna be a tough game to get back into.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Jeff hit the nail on the head. They don't score much, but they don't give up much either.
Well, yeah. If you look at these two teams, goals for, they're at exactly the same level. Yeah. So, but obviously the big difference is the goals against. So, like you said, goalie makes a few big saves, get a quick goal. Things can happen.
To me, pressure's on Ryan. I think. I mean, they're both in terms of a matchup. They're both younger teams in general. So endurance and speed should not be as much of a factor. Skill edge is for Chalupa Bangers for sure, especially Jonathan Paymon leading the way there. It's really going to come down to goalies. Carl versus Ryan. Who's going to, Carl Mercier for Chalupa Bangers, 91% save percentage, second only to Mr. Howells here. So if he continues with those kind of numbers, it's going to be really an uphill battle for A's.
3-1 Chalupa.
The big thing,
that's where I was headed. So finish your thought, and then I'll come back to you for one.
Any of these leagues, quarterfinals, one game, anything can happen.
That's right. And we've seen it happen time and time again.
Exactly.
I've been a part of a few of those. This won't be the one, according to Jeff. All right. So Jeff predicts 3-1 Chalupa. What's your prediction on this one?
I think it could be a pretty slippery slope here. I think it could be 5-1 for Chalupa if they start, because once you're down, you got to score, right? So I think it could be slippery.
A's. Jeff at NBHL.ca at NBHL_official. That's what I'm not saying anything. I'm neutral, I'm neutral. I'm Switzerland here. Let's go on to the 2 seed then. The Piranhas, who are facing off against the Mighty Pucks. So again, Jeff, let's start off with you. What leaps off the page in terms of the matchup here?
I don't know anything about that Piranha team at all. No, I think this isn't a matchup we wanted to get. Mm-hmm. This Mighty Pucks team has been underperforming all year.
Yeah.
They seem to be having some chemistry issues this year that they haven't had in the past. They've added some new players and stuff like that. But if they can put it all together, it's not a team we really wanted to play the A's tomorrow.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Instead, we've got a Friday matchup with Mighty Pucks, and if we don't contain the speed, because they have a lot of speed, and we're an older team, it's going to be a long game.
Yeah, no, in terms of upset potential, I think this is one of the early round matchups that has a lot of upset potential. Like Jeff said, Mighty Pucks, if they pull it together, I mean, it's not easy to do that on a dime against a team like Piranhas with the success you've had this season. But if they do, if Baldy could get their guys together, they can be dangerous, absolutely.
They have solid goaltending as well. The numbers don't show it, but they leave them out to dry most weeks.
Yeah, that's it.
They've had an inconsistent lineup. They're getting us on an off night, so...
No,
we're going to win the game, but
you know what?
You have to say that, right?
No. I mean, this has overtime potential. I really think this has overtime potential.
I mean, we played them in the finals last winter.
Yeah,
we lost in shootout, 10 shooters deep.
Yeah.
So it's a tough matchup.
Look, I think what you guys are saying is we can expect a tight matchup here.
Yeah.
Some grit. Some physicality. So tell me then, Sean, obviously we'll take Jeff out of this one since he's involved in the matchup, but tell me what needs to happen. Obviously you're saying it's closer. It's closer than the standings indicate.
I think Mighty Pucks have a really good shot to beat Jeff and his boys here, and I'll tell you how they're going to do it. If they're going to do it, they're going to rattle him. If they can get in Jeff's head early, get a couple goals, and if his team is not defending you, that's frustrating for a goalie, and I think that's the key to their success. Jeff's had a fantastic season. We alluded to it earlier. Number one goalie in the entire league. But if they get him shaken, they can stir up that whole team and really, really
I'm going to give you a little inside information. I'm day to day. I may not be playing the game. So.
Oh, that's true. That's a big factor. But then that also destabilizes the team too, right?
That's a big factor in who you pick to win this game.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Our backup goalie probably is a ranked goalie. So
yeah,
but
that's huge. So
has he gotten in any games with this team this season?
Yesterday.
Okay, and so I mean,
he's a guy we all know well, Jamie Collister. So
okay.
But it's undetermined. We're going to keep him guessing till game.
That's good. Yeah, you got to. Yeah. Don't even tell us what.
You're right. If I get rattled early, it's usually a long game for me.
This is a first for me where I come from another league where the commish doesn't want to say anything. Here I'm with a commish who not only is advocating rattling a goaltender,
right
not alone to the guy who's right in front of you. So at least you've got the balls to do it with him right here.
Well, because the higher levels you're fantastic, but that's when your guys are not playing for you. I mean, it's
it's frustrating for anybody at any position, right? All right. So then let's Jeff. I know your prediction is going to be your boys, but give me a prediction in terms of score.
2-0 Piranhas.
All right, I like it.
Oh, calling it. I'm going to say 3-2 Mighty Pucks. I think they're going to be a surprise upset here.
So we got to put something on the line here. Now you're picking against his boy.
I'm for that.
Yeah, we got to.
It's just the win-loss thing.
What? Yeah, win-loss.
We don't know.
Relax, Sean.
Lots of things we can.
Yeah, sure.
Let's follow up on whatever part is fit for air. Let's follow up on that next week. But I want to see something go down here.
We'll do something.
Frosty beverage.
Frosty beverage, exactly.
Sold.
Exactly.
All right, sounds good. Moving on to the next matchup here: the Bengals versus the Terminators.
Another bad matchup for an older team.
Well, here, Sean, let's start with you this time. You seem very eager to talk.
My co-organizer, Norm, captain of the Terminators, a team that's been around for, 20 years at least. Bad matchup against a young team which is emerging as a very, very powerful presence in any league. They're in a 2.5 league last year. Now they're in a 5-point league this year, and they're sitting at the top of the standings, at third place. Very impressive. Raul Moen, Rick Modi, Amon Rai emerged as one of the stars of this league. Very, very tough team to play against. You usually have an army of people, and I don't know if I think they're going to wear down Terminators. Just an older team, despite the skill.
You know what? I have the exact opposite opinion.
All right, I like it. Good.
Not the Bengals here. The Terminators are going to take it to them. They're going to use their veteran smarts. I think it's going to be a blowout for Terminators.
Wow,
really?
What leads you to go a little bit more inside?
They played last Friday, and Terminators took it to them. Like they're a smarter team. They've all played together for years.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals have speed and youth, but I think that you get a couple of goals on Kareem. He's had a rough last couple of games here, and he's going to crumble. I don't think he's used to playing guys like this. Dave Doucette, Mark McGee, Frank Delfont. These guys are all Hall of Fame guys in our league, and I think they're going to really take it to him. I don't think Bengals are going to know what hit them. I think Terminators that's another team I don't want to see very early in the playoffs, because I think all those guys, including the goaltender, can steal a game, and I think the Bengals are in tough that game.
I have to say, both arguments compelling, but I think Jeff takes this one. Are you willing to change your thing?
No, honestly, obviously the evidence is strong. All the points he's making are valid. Mm-hmm. That said, a team, if Bengals can score first, it's much tougher for an older team to claw back into a game, experience or not. The only one that worries me in that whole gang is Frank, because of the shot. Against Kareem, there is a risk that Delfont can put a shot in from the blue line, and that can just cripple a team's momentum. But if they're down 2 goals, I just think Bengals are going to just like New Jersey style them. They're going to be all over them, hard on the puck, and I don't know if they'll be able to overcome it.
All right. Well, it's going to be very exciting to see what's going on. Some last 2 picks. Interesting. You guys are not on the same page. I'm liking this. Let's go down to the last one here. We've got Ruthless versus the Paperclips. Sean, let's start with you again.
This matchup I think was happening no matter what, even after last night. I think it just would have been no bearing last night whatsoever. I would say again, you know what? Terrible matchups for everybody. I gotta say, Paperclips are my favorite in this one, though. This is a team that brings it all together. Playoffs, a potatoes derivative, if you will. JJ Constantini is having a fantastic year. I really like Paperclips. Nothing against Ruthless. Who's the goalie for them this year? It's Justin. He could be a factor, as he demonstrated against you guys. But I like Paper.
I disagree again.
All right. Love it. Good. All right. I'm going to try and get one of you guys to come off the Chalupa bangers at the end just to make it a clean sweep.
Yeah.
I think Ruthless, after playing them last night, I think they clearly have the edge in nets.
Really against Frank?
Frank he's a player, right?
He's a fantastic player.
He's a good goalie, but I think Justin's a 1-point goalie. He's a great goalie.
He's a great goalie. There's no denying.
I think that Ruthless, they come with 3 lines that run, play hard. I just think that Paperclips are going to be in tough. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I'd be very surprised if Ruthless don't win that game.
Really?
2-1.
We're talking. You know this. Ruthless have been labeled, by myself included, the San Jose Sharks of the NBHL. So typically, a team that finishes very high in the standings, not so much the case this season, and then loses in the first round.
That's why I think they're coming in as a bit underdog. They're not celebrating regular season wins. Previous years, and I think this year is their year. They could go to the finals just after playing them last night and seeing what kind of team they have. I think they have some good chemistry, and Justin, when he's on, is almost impossible to beat.
But that's the key, is when Justin's on. Yes, but I've seen him let in some, squeakers.
I'll tell you this, as a person who's played with Justin since before we even knew what the NBHL was, all right? Yeah. You're right. Jeff has it nailed down. When Justin is on, he is very, very hard to beat. And in playoffs, in our history, and we've made a lot of playoffs with him, and we keep making the finals and keep losing in the finals, except for 1 year in Larink. So Justin is usually, when it's playoff time, and especially rolling with 3 lines and all that, getting that support, a team that's going to play hard for him, I think that you can put that out of your mind. There's not going to be any squeakers or anything like that. The question will be later on when the pressure is on. Unfortunately, in the finals, sometimes, I'm not going to say he's a choker. He's not. He's always played well, but in the finals, you just get a matchup of two very, very strong goaltenders. Yeah. Things change, But at this level, I think I have to agree with Jeff here. I got to go with my boy Justin here. So, sorry.
We should write this down and see how we do, eh?
Yeah. Well, I am actually writing it down, so we'll follow up on that. Not that we're going to come back around to these leagues at the end.
No, but we can review.
We can put it up on the Twitter.
That's it, exactly.
On the Twitter. All right, so those are their predictions for this first round. First round, one game, winner take all, so anything can happen. It should be very, very exciting. Let's move on further down the list in this league. So, again, going with based on your predictions, and obviously you guys varied a lot, but let's try and go further down. I think we won't go matchup by matchup since you guys picked everything different, but maybe we can just skip to the finals.
We can pick our top four, right? Who do you think we're going to top four are going to make it? I think we both agree Triple Bangers are probably going to go through over the A's.
Yeah, I would say yes.
And then they're most likely going to face. So say.
Well, it depends on because you guys picked different. So that's what I'm saying. That game, who's facing who? Forget it. Just give me the top 4 out of these 8. How about that? And then we'll go on down the line. Forget matchups because
Chalupa, Piranhas, Terminators, and Ruthless.
All right, Sean, agreed.
Well,
obviously some of them are different.
I've already picked my 4. Right? It's Chalupa, Bengals, Paper Clips, and I think I picked Piranhas or Mighty Pucks. Yeah,
you picked Mighty Pucks. Yeah. So then we've got those 4. Yeah. Now give me your finalists.
Chalupa for sure. I think that's going to be. I just don't see a team right now knocking them off until they face. If they face Terminators, that would suck for Chalupa Bangers.
They don't want to play us.
They don't want to play you, and they don't want to play Terminators. But if I had to pick, I would say Paper Clips, Chalupa Bangers in the finals. That's why I see you going.
All right, we'll come back to you for your pick on that one. Jeff, give me a finals. Obviously,
Chalupa Bangers.
All right, I like it. 1 versus 2. Can't get better than that. Nope. All right, Sean, give me your prediction. If that's your final that you're predicting.
I think Paper Clips just have too much offensive power. I think Paper Clips can win this league with their...
You're telling me the 5 seed is going to win the league?
I think the 5 seed can win the league. Yeah, I really, really do. I think they're a team.
They're 7-6 on the season. Why are they 7-6 then?
You know what? I don't know who they've qualified in goaltender. Okay, this is a big factor.
Well, it's a pretty big factor considering it's a goaltender.
Well, no, but if Frank is eligible to play out, Frank is an electric player, and if they may pull a switcheroo, and if they find themselves in a hole,
Billy's that are the goalie, so.
They won't be pulling a switcheroo. No, but they have Billy, they have JJ, they have David Perez. I really just think these guys bring a lot of offensive weapons. I saw them do it in the summer with Los Pipos. When these guys play, they can win a championship. So I think they really can be a sneaky team to win.
So you got the Paper Clips winning the championship.
Yeah.
Obviously you're going to pick your boys. Yeah. That goes without saying. Give me while we're at it, why don't you give me an MVP and then you can throw some love to one of your teammates unless you want to pick yourself. If it is the Paper Clips.
I'm going to go, it's got to be JJ. It's going to be JJ Cosentini. This guy is a great player, super talented, a lot of speed, a lot of hustle. And my favorite element, the compete factor. When JJ wants to win, he's a beast, and I would say he's going to carry that team to the finals.
All right, Jeff, if it is the Piranhas, who are you going to give for the MVP?
It's going to be a guy I've been waiting for all year to start getting going, and it's going to be Stu Klein. He's finally going to start to play like he can. And
I played him against. But he's been playing well. He played against him on the lads. He was very effective. He's
4 goals in 12 games.
Ooh, that's not Stu numbers.
He's saving it for the playoffs, man.
He's not going to get no David Price contract next year.
All right, so that's it for this league. Let's jump down to the M now. Again, a big league, 10-team league. And it's a little bit different in here in that the 8 and 9 seeds are facing each other as we speak right now. So you will obviously have the results by the time you get this. We can't go too much further than that, but at least we'll try and predict the winner on that one. 8 seed, 9 seed, that's Rumpelstiltskin versus New Jersey. The 1 through 7 seeds are as follows: Hulkaholics, Sharknado, Always Bet on Black, Redemption, Orange is the new, I'm assuming it's black because it cut off the thing.
Orange is the new red.
Is the new red? Okay, sorry. Gotta fill that black in there. Midnight Blues and Trojan Horses, and that's the 7. Chicago Blues out. So the first matchup, let's jump into it right now. Rumpelstiltskin is playing New Jersey right now. We won't go too into detail because obviously the game will already be played by the time people are watching this. Just give me a quick prediction and maybe an idea why.
Rumpelstiltskins are probably going to win that game.
All right.
They've been coming on as of late. They made a trade late in the year, and since they made that trade, they've I don't think they've lost actually. So
who was the trade?
They acquired Jimmy Garral for Lindsey McLean.
Really?
So pretty big trade.
That is a big trade, yeah.
1-for-1 with Team AJ, and it really helped both teams actually down the stretch.
Which one's AJ?
AJ is
Orange is the new, or
he's finished in 7th, I believe.
So Trojan Horses.
Trojan Horses, because he has all the Greek guys. Tasso,
oh yeah,
George, and
okay, but Lindsay's a good fit for that team too. Yeah, okay. The Fury Boys, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and Sean, if you had to pick between those two teams,
well, this one, like I said, if you
go with your boy.
New Jersey was having issues because of if they're having guys all the time.
It's a mess.
Yeah, and you're sort of saying if name New Jersey because they're always bringing New Jersey because they're probably having roster issues. They're having, as you said, they're probably a bit of a mess. Chris is not having a great season in either of his teams. This year he's struggling a bit. So I also got to go with Rumpelstiltskin. I think that's going to be
All right, so then that's our 8th seed then by your predictions. We'll see if you guys are right or wrong by the time this airs, but like I said, we can only do what we can do right now. So the first matchup would be the Hulkaholics, who finished at the top, and they'd be playing Rumpelstiltskin. So if this is the matchup, thoughts on this matchup? Well, Jeff, let's start with you.
I really believe that Rumpelstiltskins are actually going to upset the Hulkaholics.
All right, I like this, going out on a limb. Why?
They played each other last week, and granted, Rumpelstiltskins needed the win to make the playoffs, but with a shorter bench, they dominated the game against the Hulkaholics, outshooting them 27-7.
That's crazy.
So I think that's a good way to come into the playoffs.
No kidding.
Playing the top seed, you just beat them. They're going to be in their heads. I know they didn't want them in the playoffs. So it wasn't like Hulkaholics were throwing that game away. They really wanted Ole out of the playoffs. They didn't want his team in the playoffs. They didn't want to play them. So if they beat New Jersey tonight, I'm almost sure they're going to beat Hulkaholics next week.
All right. I like that.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround, yeah. Sean?
I called the Ole factor. Ole is just, a terrible guy to play against. I mean, he's just relentless. The fact that they've got, you just said him before, Jimmy Guerrero, who's having really picked it up. Euro Jimmy,
that's the problem. Once the playoffs come around, sometimes this guy he's there in body, but he's not there at all.
But if he is, it's very effective. I mean, Hulkaholics, I got to go with Hulkaholics. I think Charles Cimetier, a fantastic goalie, good friend of mine. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to lie. As much as I like Ole as well, Charles is too good of a friend, and Chris Monroe as well. And these guys play together on Saturdays. I was playing with them for years and years and years. There's a lot of team chemistry. And I just think they will pull it together when it matters. And they have a mission now to beat Rumpelstiltskin. I think it's actually a benefit for them that they did lose that game because they're taking nothing for granted now. I think that they would have walked over them. I think it would have been, a major surprise. Now they know what they're up against, and I think they're going to get their act together and do what they're supposed to do.
This Masters, though, always 7 or 8 is going through every year.
Yeah, no, there's always
usually in the finals. They never win, but 7 and 8 usually make the
Red
finals.
Dawn has been
So you think it'll be 8, maybe? Well, let's jump on to the 7th seed and see what happens. We've got Sharknado, 2 seed, versus the Trojan Horses, who are the 7th seed. Jeff, let's start off with you again. What do you see going on here?
Low-scoring game.
All right.
Both teams are pretty much offensively aren't great. Team McGee, I was bugging him to make Sharknado, I was bugging him to make a trade for an offensive player all year. Stood still. And they still finished second, but I think that's
what they were missing. Yeah,
it may come back and haunt them in this game. They clearly have the edge in nets.
They have the edge in nets,
yeah. But I don't know. These pesky lower seeds in this M League always seem to make it through. So I'm going to go with the dog again.
All right, I like it.
Trojan Horses.
The Greek squad, I guess, is the But I mean, they got. I'm looking at the scorers here. They've got Tasso, a defenseman, as their leading scorer. They've got 33 goals on the year, the lowest in the league, and they're up against Steve Sharfin. That's another very good friend of mine. That's not happening.
There's a lot of bias on this side.
Well, I mean, the 1-2 goalies are Charles and Steve, and they're
really friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't go against them, but you know what? They've demonstrated their worth. I mean, they're both fantastic goalies, and Steve has shown that they have the second lowest goals against in the entire league, second to Charles, and Trojan Horses can't score.
You want me to get a championship T-shirt from one of your friends? Or
yeah.
Honorary member. Engrave his name on the cup,
No, but I just think, if McGee's the captain of Sharknado, I mean, that's just one of the best players all time in the entire league. I think that's just too much for Trojan Horses to handle.
And hey, if they win, maybe at the end they can pull a Denis Savard and you can be in a suit and they could just like lift you up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's move on to the next. So you've got Sharknado and you've got Trojan Horses, Jeff. So let's move on to 3. Always bet on black versus the Redemption. Again, I think we have an interested party here.
Always bet on black versus
Midnight Blues.
Oh, what do I have here? Sorry, what did I make?
3-6.
Yeah, 3-6.
You're right. My bad. Sorry. Versus, let's flip that over. 4. Okay, so let's flip that. So versus Midnight Blues. Sorry about that. This is what happens when I try and prepare. I should just let you guys handle everything. All right, so always bet on black versus Midnight Blues. All right, let's do it.
This is another one of my teams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, tomorrow I know I'm not playing.
So okay.
We have Joe Foucault in net.
So okay.
He's
hopefully.
Me.
It's not good when you're saying hopefully.
Well, he played on the worst team in the F League, Wasted Robots, and he got pounded every week. So I'm hoping he can be the goalie I know he can be in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing Midnight Blues. That's a team, not the hardest team to play against.
No, that's a fact.
A couple of my buddies play on that team, and I know my buddy Dino. He's really upset he didn't get to play against me all year because I missed the games with injury. So, but they have a lot of speed up front in Blair Kleiman and Nick Hale. And we have some slower guys in the back end. So if we let them get behind us, we're in trouble. But if we can keep them in front of us, I think
that's it. If you got like Mike and Andre Roulette, Mike and
we have the leading scorer in the league, arguably the league MVP in my opinion.
Yeah,
he's in on every one of our goals.
Yeah, basically. Andre's having an unbelievable year. Yeah, no, I mean, barring if Jeff's in, to me it's a no-brainer. I think Jeff's in. This team is winning for sure. Not that Joe's a great goalie, but he introduces an element that he's probably exhausted with after his season with Wasted Robots. He's probably just burnt out.
Shots a game.
Oh yeah,
8 goals against.
There's only so much you can do, right?
Super attitude, like great guy. He smiles every time. He's looking for his premium parking spot, but he's not going to get it. Unless he wins, I guess tomorrow.
I'm still going to predict us to pull on top 4-3.
Yeah,
all right.
It's going to be close. Yeah, I think the offensive factor. Again, your team has to shut down Blair and Nikhil, and if you can do that.
Hopefully, Lauren. That's why we acquired Lauren Spivak in a trade.
But that's a huge.
Joey Bernardo. So we got to trade at a top end forward for a top
very good defenseman.
So
yeah,
he's very fast. So
and he knows Blair. Good friends with Blair, right? So he knows that he has to mark him up and shut him down. And if anyone can do it, Lauren can definitely do it.
Okay, so I know, Jeff, what your prediction is going to be, Sean. Same thing. Always on black, despite the goaltender.
I'm betting on black, basically.
All right, that's good. You got no choice. All right, so you guys agreeing finally. It's been quite some time.
It takes 10 matchups. We finally agree.
Yeah, it was literally the first one, which was the overwhelming one, and the other one, and since then you guys have disagreed on everything.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, last matchup then, and assuming I didn't screw this one up, we've got 4-seed Redemption. And they're facing Orange as the new red. Yeah. At the 5 seed. So let's start again. Jeff, what do you got?
In this one, I'm going to go with Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
That's Eric Goldie's team. One of my good friends.
Yeah. There you go.
I think that they have Donald Fitzpatrick, the all-time leading scorer on their team. They got another guy, Corey Machette. And they have Tim Beck on defense. So their top 4 guys are like amazing players. And then the supporting cast, Eric did a good job on the back end of the draft, which sometimes can make or break a team in this league. If you get lower round guys who aren't in the round they're supposed to be in, you're in for a long year. Just ask the bottom place team.
Yeah.
But I think Redemption's going to win this game, maybe a 4-2. I think Orange is the new red. They have some offensive flair, but Joey Bernardo and Dino Del Grosso, those 2 pretty big forwards, but I think that Tim Beck and Eric Goldie should be able to shut those guys down, and I think the goaltending matchup is almost a wash, and I'm thinking 4-2 for a Redemption in that matchup.
How about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, he says goaltending is a wash, but I'm looking at the numbers here, and Orange is the new red has led up almost 52 goals. That's not insignificant, whereas Redemption is giving up 38. So I think there's an edge there in the 4 goals against area that do favor Redemption as well. And you said Eric Goldie is the captain of that team. Is he going to be playing though? Because I know he's going to Europe soon.
Yeah, he's leaving on the weekend, so
he's going to play the first game, and then he maybe gets back for a second game in the semis. But if he's there and he's the captain, this guy's player knowledge is only rivaled by Jeff. Basically, you know what I mean? He knows everybody. I'm not surprised. The depth of his picks are probably perfect. And if he's there, he's a key element of glue that keeps these guys together, keeps guys calm. I got to go with Eric's team any day.
So you're going with Redemption as well.
Yeah.
All right. So then breaking down what we got here. Sean really went out on a limb by picking the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds to win.
Yeah.
Really brave.
Going on the line there.
Yeah. He's got a lot of friends in high places, it seems.
Yeah.
And then, Jeff, you've got the 3 and 4 seeds. No surprise there with the number 3 seed, especially for yourself. And then the 7 and 8. So let's break it down and see, based on your predictions, what the brackets would look like. So then, Sean, you would have the Hulkaholics facing against Redemption. Give me a pick.
Oh, Hulkaholics.
All right.
Yep.
And then you have Sharknado versus Always Bet on Black. Be careful. He's
Jeff's
right in front
back.
of you. Yeah.
I'm going to go Always Bet on Black. I think they have Jeff and Nets provides that backbone goaltending wise, and they have some of the best offensive players in the entire league with probably the league MVP on Andre. That I would say that they would be the favorites in that matchup.
Providing I don't get rattled early.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. By Sean's advice.
Yeah, exactly.
His blueprint for beating Jeff Howells. Okay, and then you'd be predicting Hulkaholics versus Always Bet on Black. So who you got there?
Oof.
Who you got there and how many games, and give me an MVP.
Oh, man. I'm going to say Always Bet on Black. As much as I like to say Hulkaholics, I think the goaltending, again, it's if Jeff's there. If Jeff's not there, it's Hulkaholics hands down, in my opinion. But if he is there, I assume he will for the sake of this analysis. Always Bet on Black, and I think it's going to be either probably Jeff's going to be the MVP.
All right.
Because they need him.
Okay, so Jeff, let's jump to your side here. You would have Always Bet on Black facing Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, you're obviously going to pick yourself the rest of the way, but give us an idea of the matchups there. So if you guys are facing Rumpelstiltskin, you were very high on Rumpelstiltskin going into this right now.
That's going to be a tough matchup. They're a running team, and for that league, they're a fast team. Yeah. And that's in this league. If you got some speed, it really hurts the other team. So you
might be a bit nervous. Yeah. All right, and then you'd have the Trojan Horses versus Redemption.
Yeah, I think Trojan Horses just get out of the first round. And,
okay.
I'm going to stick with my prediction. Early on in the year, I said it's going to be us versus Redemption.
And that's your prediction.
I'm just going to stay with that.
All right. So, again, you're predicting your own team. Of course, give me an MVP from your team.
And it's going to be the same guy who's been all year, Andre Ouellette. He's led the league all year. He's been our best player all year. And I think he's going to be the number 1 pick in the Masters in the winter.
Oh, you think so? You think he's going to go that high, eh?
Mark McGee.
Wow, that's got to be almost the first time, eh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That should be a great finish. You know what? I love the Masters League idea. You know what? I don't think it gets enough discussed enough as such a unique and innovative thing. It's really enjoyable.
No, it's awesome. And Jeff said every season there's a guy, team that just makes the playoffs and finds their way to the finals because it's so tight. I mean, if you look at the wins, you go from first down to sixth. And it almost seems like any of those teams could beat any of those teams. Mm-hmm. And for the bottom guys, they don't have the wins, but look at the ties.
Yes.
New Jersey has 5 ties, Rumpelstiltskin 4 ties. Like, that's insane. It's just a good bounce here and there, and those are wins, right? And it just even everything else.
It's a league where you can play. If you don't think you can play anymore, this is where you play.
Exactly. It's sad. I've been asked to play the Masters. People look at me, you should really play Masters. It's this, you're done.
I mean, we don't get many 30-year-olds.
No.
Yeah.
The league is probably between 35 to 45 is probably the core.
Yeah. Sounds like my kind of place. Because I am younger, but play older.
No, but that's it. The draft format really just makes it an even playing field.
You get to know different guys each year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of respect throughout the thing. Yeah.
There's a lot of bar community. A lot of the guys are in the bar after their night out.
We saw that a couple weeks ago with the X and Y leagues too, man. It's all about the bar, man.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for that league. Let's jump down to the A now. This one's going to be a lot quicker.
Jump down, jump up.
Jump down, up, whatever. Down in terms of pages. It's the third page that I had here. So A, obviously the top league we would consider. There's 4 teams here, and the way it works is slightly unique in that the 1 seed will face the 2 seed in the first round, and then the winner of that goes on to the finals. The loser of that is still alive, and they're facing the winner of the 3 seed versus the 4 seed, and the winner of that goes on to the finals to face whoever won the first matchup. So let's break down those seeds. We've got GK, we've got Marksman, we've got Down to Puck, and we've got Dukes and Divine. So let's start off. The first matchup will be I'm assuming the matchups are already set, I believe, for this.
Exactly.
So it's going to be GK versus Marksman. Let's start there.
Once
Jeff?
again, this is another team I'm involved in.
Yes.
This is a really weird situation, picking all my teams to go to the finals and win it. But
well, I mean, I should hope so. Can you imagine if you did it?
I know, but
yeah. your team wouldn't be too happy with
It's
you.
a bit biased.
Yeah,
It's okay. We'll
but I
take
think in a one-game showdown for sure is your best chance against GK.
This is what to get to the finals. This is the one gamer against them is
because you don't want to play down to puck.
no. Well,
You can't beat them, but you don't want to play them. That's the thing, right?
you want to get to the finals in that one game.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. If you lose to the GK, then you got to play them again in the finals. Even if you beat down to puck and you've already lost to them, if you beat them, if they come back up to the finals, you're gonna have all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
We need a full team to beat them, which we haven't had very often this year.
But big injury.
Big injury. We just lost Mike Tav probably for the season with a dislocated shoulder in a meaningless game Monday night.
I know, it's terrible.
Those are the worst.
I know.
And we don't have many extra players. We have a couple of guys hurt. So if they're not back, playing GK with a short bench will not be a fun game.
No.
We need John Veretis,
That's
our
it.
goalie, to really step it up. And if he's done that once this season against them and we beat them, their only blemish on their season was a loss to us.
And the last game you should have won as well.
Yeah, we're up 5-2 against them with 8 minutes to go, and then they decided.
If you see John, don't ask John about it. Basically,
yeah, I've never seen my friend John lose his mind, and that day he lost his mind.
Yeah.
Well, a situation like that, I think we all would. All right, so then you're obviously going to pick your team no matter what, although you described many reasons why that would be a difficult game to win. But, Sean, if you had to pick one in that one.
If I have to pick one, I mean,
knowing
GK's
what you know
easy
now.
pick, but
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends who shows up for Marksman. I mean, let's just say the team that I know Marksman can be shows up to that game. In a one-game showdown, given what happened in your last game, I think the players there really want to make up, not just against GK, but for John. I really think the guys felt they let John down in that game. He didn't deserve that. Up 5-2, you can't lose that game at this level. So I think they're going to come out really strong and take it to GK and get that win. They know they need that win more than GK does, and they're going to try to get it much harder. And I think that's going to do the difference for them.
So you're saying I think contingent on a full squad, you're going Marksman as well.
Exactly.
All right, so Marksman off to the finals. Congratulations. Then we've got Down to Puck versus Dukes and Divine. So let's go on that one.
I think that's a pretty easy one as well. I mean, Dukes and Divines, no wins all year. I don't see them.
You don't think they were holding it back? They were slow playing the whole thing?
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict an upset here.
Oh, okay.
I think JF Oman can steal a game at any point,
but they can't score.
Only need one if JF.
That while true, I just don't think. I don't
mean,
think
18 goals scored in 11 games is pretty.
I mean, this is why this format is great because I mean, with 4 teams and the top teams in the league, it's tough to be really, really competitive against a team like GK.
Yeah.
But Dukes has hope now. They have a one-game matchup against Down to Puck, a team that just finished before them. So, without a doubt, these two teams are closer in skill level than GK and Marksman.
I have a funny feeling about that. I don't know why. All the players besides the goaltending, which is, I mean, Brad's no slouch, but I think JF's a bit better.
Oh, yes.
Everything else points to Down to Puck. But sometimes when everything points to that way, it goes the other way. And I just think for some reason, if they have a full bench on, have a lot of guys qualified.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
If they bring them all, and they're going to give Down to Puck a game, and I think it come down to maybe an overtime winner or something like that.
I'm going Down to Puck. I just don't think. I mean, yes,
with a bullet, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. They're so good. I mean, they're young, fast. They run a lot. They've played together forever. One of these teams that has played in this high level. They have experience at national tournaments.
Yeah, nothing points to Duke.
There's no reason. It's a gut feeling.
It's a gut feeling. It's Ome. If Ome can keep it to like 0 or 1 goals against, there is a potential for an upset. Yeah. But I just don't. I think if Down to Puck gets the first one, it's over.
All right, so then let's jump down. So then the next matchup would be GK versus Loser. That's obviously you guys have differing opinions here. So GK is going to win.
Yeah, they're gonna
GK is going to win.
I would love to see Down to Puck beat them. I don't think they've even come. I think they've come close in some of their games, but it's sadly I don't know what Down to Puck would need to do to get to a GK level. I think all their guys are at the 3-4 point level where GK has the 5s. And I just think Brad, as good as he is, he really needs super elite defensemen to minimize the options that GK is 2 games. To beat GK in 2 games, not happening. As GK for sure.
All right. Well,
I want Down to
I
Puck.
definitely say if Down to Puck are there, they're going to give GK a much better battle than Divines will.
Yes.
I think that
for me, it's all about the first game. If Down to Puck if you lose game 1 against GK, you forget about it. I think forget it for down to puck in this case. You know what I mean? I think if they manage to keep the first game a tie or manage to win it, that everything's on game one for down to puck. They need to come out as hard as they can. That's all they can do. You know, put GK on their heels and then play to a tie.
We hope most of their guys are playing elsewhere next Monday night, which is potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's go to the finals then. So the finals, we would basically have Marksman versus GK again. So, all right, well, Jeff.
This is almost the battle, like the...
I mean, there's certainly a rivalry there. I think
it's kind of meant to be at this point, right?
We've beat them throughout the summer. We beat them once. And, I mean, there was no contest in the finals. They played us when we had nobody in the lineup.
Yeah.
He wouldn't move a game.
Yeah.
Crushed us like 10-1 and 6-1. And so
you're saying it was sound strategy.
So I think we got revenge factor on our team. Our team isn't as strong as it was in the summer because there was no cap in the summer. But I think if we can get some early goals and get a lead on them, like we've done a couple of times, and then we can settle down.
Then you got to sit on it.
We've got two elite defensemen, at least, in Mark Guerrero, Sean's brother, and Troy Ryan. And Brandon Runnings is no slouch either.
No, exactly.
If we can get a lead in our defense and our forwards back check, we'll give them a series. I think we're going to squeak it out in the mini game.
My brother and I proved that skill is not hereditary because he has it all and I've got none of it. Maybe it just picks one. I don't know.
Well, I think it's just there's only so much. And it all went one way.
It bypassed me completely.
Yeah.
It was funny because he was him and I. We talk a lot, obviously, and we talk about GK and Marksman all the time because it's such a great matchup and rivalry. And he was joking with me. He's like, GK Marksman has never lost with me in the lineup, and we're up against GK. And he's like, I can handle Labonte, I can handle Kuzmarski, no problem.
Can we edit this?
Yeah. And then sure enough, the next game they go lose that 5-2 win again, a lead against them, and I was all over that, right? I was texting him right away. Family dinner was awkward, but they are a team that if they are playing well, they can take those guys out. But I don't know, it's all about your defenseman and goaltending. I really think that's going to be
so then go out on a limb. We know Jeff's pick, obviously.
GK. As much as I like it, if Labonte, Kuzmarski, I don't know what other superstars they have there. I don't know if Leclerc, Simon's playing. Matt David, I don't.
Look, highest league they have one loss, so that tells you that they are obviously the favorites. But Jeff's always going to pick his boys, and it's not outside the realm of possibility from what you guys are saying. But a lot of things need to go right.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on the A League before we get out of here. We didn't spend as much time; it's a much smaller league, but obviously, final thoughts before we jump out of this episode of the podcast.
Well, let's hope we can get a few more teams to want to play the A.
Mm-hmm. Let's go off this. And so, what needs to be done? You're a guy who plays in a lot of leagues.
I think there's some guys who just don't like the competition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The guys who play in A love the competition.
Yeah.
You got to there's players playing in the lower leagues who could play in the A.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. There's a misconception that
it's so good.
It's real.
You can't go in there with Sean, like me and Nets and you. We can't play in the A, but
speak for yourself.
No. There's a lot of teams that are that have the potential. There's a couple ones. One I'm keeping my eye on. They're lower now, but fourth liners. I think there are a lot of players with a lot of skill. They're not ready yet. They're too young. They haven't had the competition that to face yet. That's a team that can move up. A lot of young good teams need to take that leap of faith and challenge yourself. If I find the willingness to challenge, I remember when I was in the C and the B, I always wanted to play A because I wanted to see how it competed against the best. And that's what guys have to want to do. They got to want to challenge yourself. You can play your leagues with your buddies and stuff like that, but get together and compete at a level that you didn't know was possible to play at. GK is beatable. Marksman's proved it.
The team. We want to beat GK.
Yeah.
They are beatable. You guys
want to beat GK. You want to beat the best.
That's what you should have called your team. Beat GK.
Yeah.
It's like beat LA with Boston.
No, and Down to Puck is a team that I think there's maybe some tweaking they have to do here and there, but they have that elite potential,
The core is there for sure.
There are clearly enough good players in this league to field several more competitive teams. It's just a matter of somebody putting it together and taking the leap, right?
you've just got to take a chance. I mean, nobody wants to go 0-12 or anything.
No.
So that's what prevents it most of the time, right? So, but
I think what would go a long way is if Dukes and Divine pull off a few upsets, then maybe a few more people will.
Yeah, that would be big. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that maybe they're slow playing the whole season, the entire
it's a long
season.
way to go to slow
They
play.
They were taking a lot of notes, and they were like, "Okay, now go."
Yeah.
Well, that would be something.
That would be something. I don't think it's going to happen, but no, that's it. I mean, it's fun. To watch that game. You're as close to world class ball hockey when you got like GK. How many guys on Team Canada on your team? How many guys could probably play that?
No, that's it. So hopefully it grows. It's a tough league to get growing, but there's players in the league who can play it for sure.
And there are there, just remind me, are there crossover matchups between leagues right now, or between
Not
A and
B? No, there was one team Greece, who did play a couple games at this level. I don't recall offhand how they did.
Well, they didn't have the right roster when they played these games. So it was an off night for them and didn't go too well.
Cool,
the game they played against when I had to play in that. So. We tied though, to my credit.
But so I mean, it's possible. I mean, I know Team Greece and you guys had a exhibition game once in this. I forget when it was when they had their guys in from Ontario.
Yeah,
what a matchup that was! Gentili finished that game out. I mean, you just got to bring the guys.
I think it's just people got to understand that it's once you're at B, C. I mean, like. Okay, C is the rank league, but I'm saying B, D. Like, there's a lot of talent in this league, and it's not.
It's getting it together.
It's not that. It's just someone who's a strong organizer who knows this league, who knows the strategies, and who can get everyone together.
Nick put a team in A.
Yeah, exactly. Nikhil would be a guy who can round up some very good players.
Yeah. And there you go. All right. Well, Jeff, thanks a lot for being here. I don't know if we're gonna what we're doing next week, Sean, but we'll have to look at that. But I mean, you can see we kind of done our second go around for a few leagues now, so we're getting down to it, and it's the playoffs, so it's a great time. Hopefully, we'll be talking about some semifinal matchups next week, most likely. So Jeff, thanks again for coming here. Jeff Howells, obviously a very well known name around the league. If you have anything,
all weekend.
Exactly. He's not a hard guy to find. Now, it's good for me to put a name to the face, although I did figure it out a lot earlier than this. But the guy that I've seen in this league, a ton of times, the guy with the hat, as I knew him before. But obviously, if there's anything you want to know about the league or stuff like that, Jeff's a good guy to ask. Sean.
Back again.
It's been something.
I'd
say it's been a pleasure.
Special.
I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I'd be lying. Sean, you can find him at MBHL_official. Jeff, you can reach him at jeff@mbhl.ca. You can reach me at MBHL Media. We cracked 15 followers. We're moving on up in the world, guys. I'm just like 10 million behind Taylor Swift, so it's okay. We will be back next week, but until then.
Good night, MBHL.
Hey, man, 2 in a row. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. All right, now do the little walk of shame to turn it off.
Don't hit my knee.
This is super awkward. We need to find like a long stick or like a boomerang or some way of shutting this thing off.
For bloopers.